Hey everybody, it's your favorite red bearded attorney here. I wanted to talk to you today about revocable living trusts. What are they? What do they do? How do they work? But before I dive into that, I want to let you know how to reach out to me. You can email me directly, Derek, D-E-R-E-K, at legionlawpllc.com, or you can find me on my website, www.legionlawpllc.com. So with that, let's dive into the fascinating topic of revocable living trusts. Now, I tell people all the time, trusts are applicable to a lot of different people. You'd be amazed at how many people are qualified and absolutely should have a trust, but they don't. Now, the most common misconception I run into as an attorney is that trusts are for super wealthy people. I hear this all the time. Jeff Bezos needs a trust, Elon Musk needs a trust, but I don't have their assets, therefore I don't need a trust. And the answer is just no, that's not true. Generally speaking, trusts are going to be appropriate in Texas for people who have real estate or you have more than $75,000 in assets beyond your real estate. My strong recommendation, and the reason why those thresholds are kind of in that situation, is because anytime you have real estate or anytime you're above $75,000 in assets, your probate is going to be more expensive than just simply setting up a trust. That's it. So if you want to save money and you want to make things easier for your loved ones, then you should strongly consider a trust. That being said, you kind of have to ask yourself, what is a trust in the first place? How does it work? Why do people use it instead of, other things like wills? And the reason why is probate. Now, again, there are two types of trusts. There are the super rich, hyper wealthy Elon Musk trusts you need to worry about, and that's only if you're above $12 million or so right now. But if you're lower than that, which pretty much everyone else is, including myself, then you're going to look at a revocable living trust. And the main purpose of a revocable living trust is to avoid probate. Now, I mentioned this in other videos. You're welcome to check them out. But probate is essentially the process by which we go before a judge and we say, we know somebody who's passed away, who's in charge of splitting everything up, and who gets what once we do split everything up. And that's pretty much it. The judge will sign off on it, but this whole process is going to take a very long time. It takes about 3 to 4 months of everything being frozen. You cannot downsize your house. You can't access bank accounts that are not in your name. You can't, I had one client who had a retirement account in her husband's name, $2 million. It was all that they were living off of, and she couldn't touch a penny of it because she had to go through probate first. So those assets were frozen for the 3 to 4 months that we had to go through it before she could access the $2 million. She's a worth multi-millions of dollars. She couldn't touch it because of the probate laws that are in Texas. So if you have a trust, it is going to completely go around probate. Any asset that is inside the trust is going to avoid probate entirely, and that means that the day after you pass or someone passes away, you can access those assets, split them up according to the rules, and you can make everything happen immediately. You don't have to pay for attorneys, you don't have to go to court, you don't have to hire accountants to look at stuff, nothing. So it is a very, very strong incentive for most people, again, who own real estate or who have more than $75,000 to their name. You should strongly consider going and setting up a revocable living trust. Now, the structure is very similar to a company. This is kind of a poor analogy. It's not legally true, but from a 10,000-foot view, it helps people understand. You will create your company, your trust. You're going to put yourself as the CEO or your spouse, you and both as your spouse if you have one. You will live your life the exact same way. You'll still have your house. You'll still live, go yachting or I don't know, whatever you do, go fishing on the weekends, whatever. You can drive your car. Your life's the exact same. But on paper, your assets are now owned in the name of the trust rather than your own individual name. And for some reason, that makes all the difference. You create the trust, you transfer everything over on paper, you live your life normal, and then whenever you pass away, we follow the rules of the trust. And the trust says we'll get a new person to be in charge because I've just passed away, and that new person is going to follow these specific rules that I created. So it's great. It's a great way to make sure, again, you go to probate, you avoid probate, and whatever you want to have happen actually happens. You can set rules and limitations however creative you want it to be. You could say everything goes to the Queen of England unless it's the King of England, and if it's the King, then I want everything to go to my son, but only if he hasn't done drugs for 3 months. I don't know. The world's your oyster at that point. So it's very nice to customize it that way because wills are kind of more of a one and done situation. You will go through probate and you're just simply stating, split everything up this way, let's just get it all done, I'm dead, let's just move on. Now trusts are a little bit different where you can control it and say after X number of years, whatever, right? And so you can customize them, and that's what makes them so great. So again, trust is very similar to a company. You create it, you put yourself as the CEO or the trustee, you set the rules, and then you say, whenever I pass away and whenever my spouse passes away, we're going to set this new CEO in charge and they're going to follow these rules. You're guaranteed that the assets inside the trust are going to avoid probate. Your wishes will happen. That new CEO has to follow the rules, otherwise they're breaking the law. And it's all private. It's cheaper in the long run because you're not paying for attorneys after you've passed away. I don't know. It just seems like a win-win on all fronts. It's hard to convince me a trust is inappropriate for most people. So with that, if you have any questions about trusts, how do they work, what are the pros and cons, the consequences, let me know. I'd be more than happy to chat about it. In fact, you can email me directly, Derek, D-E-R-E-K, at legionlawpllc.com, or you can schedule a consultation on my Contact Us page on my website at www.legionlawpllc.com. So with that, you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching.